Wow. All right, let's get back to it. So, in light of the importance of the FCRA's permissible purpose provision to the protection, look at this, to the protection, guys, drop protection in the chat, to the protection of the consumer's privacy, the Bureau is issuing this advisory opinion to affirm that consumer reporting agencies may not provide a consumer report pursuant to FCRA section 604 under any circumstances not expressly permitted by this section. Guys, get intimately familiar with section 604. Get intimately familiar with section 604. Know what it's asking for. All right? In particular, the permissible purposes identified in FCRA section 604A3 are consumer specific, right? That is, they apply only with respect to the consumer who is the subject of the user request. And a consumer reporting company may not provide a consumer report to a user under FCRA section 604A3 unless it has reason to believe that all of the consumer report information it includes pertains to the consumer who is the subject of the user request. For example, consumer reporting agencies violate the FCRA permissible purpose provisions if they provide consumer reports on multiple consumers. Example, consumers with the same name, in response to a request where the user only has a permissible purpose to obtain a report on a single individual, because that would inherently involve providing at least one consumer report and one individual with respect to whom the user did not have a permissible purpose. So if James and I had the same name and they furnished my information and they furnished our information together, and then I get a notice in the mail, right? And then I, James, got a notice in the mail that I got denied for a credit card, but I know I didn't apply for any credit card. Guys, that is a violation of that section. So if your clients are getting stuff like those, that is grounds for a lawsuit or arbitration or small claim under FCRA section 15 U.S.C. 1681B or section 604. If there's anything regarding a merge file and there's adverse action or account open for someone who never applied, it means a consumer report was furnished on that consumer without a permissible purpose. Are y'all tracking what I'm putting down, please? All right, so the Bureau notes that disclaimers will not cure failure to have a reason to believe that a user has a permissible purpose for a consumer report provided pursuant FCRA section 604A3. The Bureau also is issuing this advisory opinion to highlight that FCRA section 604F strictly prohibits a person who uses or obtains a consumer report from doing so without permissible purpose. I go back to your crooked car dealership, because these are the people you can get a check from. They don't have permissible purpose. They don't. But you're pulling the reports. You can go get a bag. All right, let's go. B, coverage. Section C1 of this advisory opinion applies to all consumer reporting agencies, as that term is defined in FCRA section 603F section C2 of this advisory opinion, applies to all. Persons that obtain or use or seek to obtain or use consumer reports, as the term is defined in FCRA section 603D, right? Legal analysis. FCRA section 604A3, section 604A of the Fair Credit of the FCRA identifies a limited set of permissible purposes for which a consumer reporting company may provide a consumer report to a user. The Bureau is aware that some consumer reporting agencies use insufficient identifiers in matching procedures, such as name-only matching, which can result in the provision of consumer reports to persons without a permissible purpose to receive them. The permissible purpose for which consumer reports are most commonly sought out are identified in FCRA section 604A3, including for purposes related to credit, employment, insurance, and rental housing. Under section 604A3, a consumer reporting company may provide a consumer report when it has what? Reason to believe that the user requesting the report has one of the permissible purpose specified therein with respect to the consumer who is the subject of the user request. The Bureau interprets, what is this? Was just someone here? 1 second, guys. The Bureau interprets the permissible purpose in FCRA section 604A3 to apply only with respect to the consumer who is the subject of the user request. The Bureau's interpretation is based on plain language of FCRA section 604A3 itself, which makes clear that whether a user has a permissible purpose under that section is analyzed on a consumer by consumer basis. For example, FCRA section 604A3A permits a consumer reporting company to provide a consumer report to a person which it has reason to believe intends to use the information in connection with credit transaction involving the consumer on whom the information is to be furnished and involving the extension of credit to or review collection of an account. Now, remember, guys, when I told you that a collection company can pull your reports? Who remember when I told you that collection companies can pull your reports without a permissible purpose? There's a built-in permissible purpose. This section, it's in the same section. For those of you that have had like Amexes and you get a letter from Amex saying, we've reduced your balance because doing our periodic review, we see that you no longer meet the criteria. So if you had a $10,000 limit, we're going to cut it down to like 3,000. It's that same section right here that gives a collection company that permissible purpose, because it falls under or collection of an account. This is that clause that give a collection that permissible purpose to pull your report, because this is included. Now, being that they have this in there, it doesn't mean that you cannot do anything. You can still do your cease and desist. You can still do other stuff under the FDCPA. But I wanted you guys to know that, yes, collection companies can pull your consumer report based on this section of the law, which speaks on 604A3, gives them the permit. Section 604A3, right? it gives them that purpose, are 15 USC 1681 BA. That section gives them that right. All right. Similarly, FCRA section 604A3